What is up, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you day 4 of my 31 Days of Horror 2021, and today we are moving right along with my Blu-rays, and I decided to do a clown movie as that was next up on the 22 shots list that JP put out, and it also, in my opinion, can count as kind of like an alien film, because that was technically what was next on the list, but I didn't have any new alien films and there were no new ones coming out or anything like that, so I was like, what am I gonna do? But, you know, some people say that this character is an alien and a clown, and I'm sure you can guess what that is. And that is going to be Stephen King's It from the year 1990. And I have it here in this little 4-pack that I believe JP actually got me as one of my Christmas gifts last year. It's got Salem's Lot, The Shining, Cat's Eye, and It, so kind of an interesting random little set of Stephen King adaptations here. But yeah, It 1990, essentially this is about 7 children that are kind of misfits, and it's going through their lives as they're growing up. I believe this is set in like the 60s, and it's during one summertime. There are kids going missing, and it turns out there's this sort of evil entity that is preying on the children. And these 7 kids, of course, try to hunt it down and kill it. And then years later, it comes back, and they have to essentially do everything all over again because they made a promise that they would meet back up and destroy it if it ever came back to life. So yeah, I'm sure, everyone knows the story of It. It's nothing, anything new to people, I would say. But this is a movie that I saw for the first time when I was 13, and I believe I was like 13. I remember it was on TV, and I was like, okay, everyone always talks about this movie and how it made them afraid of clowns, so I guess I'll finally check it out. And I really liked it back then. And, you know, over the years, it's one of those films where I always think like, oh yeah, I like it, it's a good movie, but it's not one that I would rewatch a whole lot. Watching it this time, it's one of those movies that draws you in so much that you can't even multitask while watching it, because to me it's like, okay, I've seen this multiple times at this point. I can, you know, do my laundry or something while it's on, but I just cannot stop watching it. It's much like The Shining for me, which is also a long movie. When you put the 2 chapters together, I guess you could say it runs 3 hours and 7 minutes, so it's obviously a long film, but it just flies by, especially the way they do this, you know, TV adaptation with it kind of intertwines the adult versions and the kid versions, and then by the second half it's more like the adult versions, but then you're getting some flashbacks of the kids. I think the way they intermingle that keeps it interesting and lively, and just like I said, it makes it go by really quick, as opposed to just doing one or the other. So yeah, turns out I am a big fan of the movie. I love the kid actors. I think they all do a good job. You know, it's always a common complaint that the adult portions not as good or interesting as the kid portion, and the actors are kind of but you know, upon rewatches, I actually like the adult portion a lot more than I did the first time I had seen it, and you know, several other times. The more I watch it, the more it's grown on me. I think the casting is honestly not too bad for them. That, you know, they all look decently like the you know, kid versions that they were playing, and I think that they do take on the roles fairly well. Of course, there are also some questionable effects and stupidity, especially by the climax of the film. It's definitely not the best, and honestly, I don't think they really did it much better in the 2017, 19, whatever version of the film. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just how the movie ends, and it's hard to make it look convincing and scary. It kind of comes off as a little silly, but you know, not a big deal to me. So another thing, you know, the clown stuff, like I mentioned earlier, everyone always says this film made them afraid of clowns. I never really got that. I've never had a fear of clowns. I mean, I don't really like them. I think they're pretty lame, to be honest, but I've never found them to be overly terrifying or paralyze me with fear or anything like that. But you know, I think Tim Curry is great in the role. I love the clown makeup and just the simple get up he has on. It's very colorful and kind of that inviting clown look, but at the same time it's very sinister, and I think he does the role very well in the movie. I get more creeped out by the other stuff kind of going on, like, you know, the blood coming out of the picture of Georgie and the blood coming out of the sink, and the part where, you know, Ben sees his dad. That stuff actually does freak me out a good bit. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out one day. Like I said, it's long, but it's worth the time and it flies by. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, thank you guys once again for joining me for day number 4 here. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow for day number 5.